This is a beautiful chocolate brownie. It's gluten-free and it's covered with even more chocolate. Let's check how it's done.
First, we'll start by putting the dark chocolate into a bowl. Add the butter and a little bit of honey. We'll melt everything together gently. I hope you already know the melting process. Place the bowl over the hot water and then turn the heat off. While the butter and chocolate are slowly melting, separate the egg yolks and egg whites. Put the yolks into a small bowl and the whites into the mixer bowl. Then prepare the dry ingredients. Since these brownies are gluten-free, we only use almond flour, cornstarch and cocoa powder. Mix everything together slowly and properly so there are no lumps left inside. Let's check the chocolate with the butter and honey. You can see it's melting slowly and I didn't heat it again underneath. The residual heat is enough. Once everything is melted like this, take it off the hot pot and start whipping the egg whites with the brown sugar and a pinch of salt. When whipping meringue, always start on a lower speed and slowly increase it. The consistency we want is exactly what you can see here. A soft peak that lightly shakes at the top. Thanks to the brown sugar, the meringue has this beautiful darker color. Now the chocolate mixture has cooled down a little, so we can add all the egg yolks at once. Using a spatula, slowly mix them into the chocolate until everything is smooth and fully combined. On the top of this mixture, add all the whipped meringue and finally add the dry ingredients on top. My advice is very simple. Use the widest bowl you have, not deep but wide. Everything mixes much easier in a wide bowl. And because the only leavening here is the whipped meringue, we really need to work carefully. We want to mix everything evenly while keeping as much air inside as possible. When your mixture looks like this, it's ready. Now it's time to choose your pastry ring. I chose a 20 cm square ring, and this amount fits perfectly into it. Of course, you can use also a round ring. It's completely up to you. Pour the mixture into the ring, but try not to pour it from too high above, because the fall would destroy the air you worked so hard to keep inside the batter. So pour it from as low as possible and then smooth it out evenly. I didn't grease the ring at all, there's no need for it. Actually, it helps the sides hold their shape better. I only placed baking paper on the bottom. Once baked, this is how the brownie should look. Let it cool slightly and then we'll remove it from the ring. Using a small pastry spatula, carefully separate the brownie from the sides of the ring on all four edges, like this, and the last side as well. I always press the spatula slightly against the ring. Then place your hand gently on the top of the brownie and slowly lift the ring away. And here it is, beautiful gluten-free chocolate brownie. Transfer it onto a board and while moving it, remove the baking paper immediately. If you cut it while it's still sitting on the paper, small pieces might stick to the brownie, and we definitely don't want that. Cut the brownie however you like, depending on the size you want. I chose equal squares so they all look the same. Now let's look inside. You can see it, beautifully soft and fudgy. The longer you bake it, the drier it becomes. The shorter the baking time, the softer and more moist it stays. Once the brownie is cut, prepare the glaze. Melt the chocolate the classic way again over hot water with the heat turned off, just letting the chocolate slowly melt. At the same time, prepare a sugar syrup from water, sugar and pinch of salt and cook it to 102 degrees Celsius. Since 102 degrees Celsius is quite hot, we don't want to pour it directly onto the chocolate immediately. Let the syrup cool slightly first and then we'll create a glaze, almost like a ganache made with sugar syrup. Gradually add the syrup into the chocolate in several additions. First, mixing only with a spatula. Once everything is incorporated, finish the emulsion using an immersion blender. Don't blend air into it. Keep the blender as submerged as possible so you create a beautiful shiny emulsion. And now the only thing left is to take the brownie cubes and cover them nicely with the chocolate glaze, then wait for it to set. The glaze not only adds another layer of chocolate flavor, but it also helps keep the brownies softer much longer because it protects them from drying out. And once your brownies look this good, there's only one thing left to do: enjoy them. You can serve them with sour cream or something else on the side, or simply enjoy them on their own. See you next time. Bye.